Anyone who comes on a Sunday knows I am not a technology person, so this is not an uncommon thing. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Friendship Village of Dublin Memorial Service. Today we honor the residents who have died in the last 6 months. We have not included residents who have just recently passed, as families are still in deep mourning and making their own personal arrangements. We will honor those residents on Thursday, November 2nd, in our next memorial service. Occasionally, family members and residents ask a chaplain to officiate a personal memorial service, and I'm always available to offer this support. In conversation with Betsy and with Jessica and the leadership, we thought it was important to offer a village-wide memorial service for the entire community as well. We discussed whether this should be an annual event and even wondered if this should be offered quarterly, and we landed at twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. Today we honor 24 of our residents. Mourning is the outward expression of our grief and love. May the words, music, ritual, and remembrances of the community fill your hearts with love and peace.
Good afternoon. Well, as I reflect, and I'm so grateful to see familiar faces, families, residents. It's hard for me to stay. I'm usually carrying the microphone around, so can I? Good. I'm much more comfortable, just so you know. As I reflected on just some simple remarks to open up our first celebration of these lives, I thought back in remembering at a very early time in my career, 15 years ago, hearing the countless words of more seasoned workers saying, there's nothing about the work here that you're going to do that's about you or is for you. You're going to have to leave yourself behind. It didn't take me long to realize that you can't leave yourself behind and be there for others. And so it's been an absolute privilege to care for, to serve the special individuals we're going to see and celebrate, their names, their legacies, their lives today, the 24 that we're really coming to honor. I'm convinced that many of them, if not all, contributed more to my life than I could have ever given to theirs. And I'm grateful to be a better version of myself because of the lessons they taught me on life and love and creating happiness. And I will continue to tell their stories even though I was only a part of a small chapter.
There we go.
We're good? Okay. This is a longing of peace and solitude written by William Butler Yeats. It's a poem called A Lake Isle of Innisfree. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin build there, a clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honeybee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There is a midnight all a glimmer, and a noon purple glow, an evening full of linnets' wings. I will arise and go now, for always night and day I hear the lake waters lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavement's gray, I hear it in the deep heart's core.
We will now say the names of each of our departed friends, and a rose will be placed in the vase for them in their memory. Sheila Bowman, Margaret J. Brienza, Peggy Christensen, Nancy V. Coleman, Carol Damian, Eileen Green, Richard C. Dick Hacker, Joanne B. Johnson, Marie T. King, Donna Kachinka, David P. Lighthill, Jean E. Neff, Linda S. Paul, Robert A. Bob Protz, Joseph Joe Ray, Marilyn Richards, Bertha M. Madeline Rupp. Leroy Roy Schoenstein. Marcia Schweninger. Evelyn V. Stephens. George Stevens. Jack A. Seuss. Frank White. David Keller. We're going to now invite people to come forward and share any thoughts you'd like about any of the residents that we're honoring today. Because we have 23, I just ask that your reflections be brief so that we can just share and have enough time to share. So there's no order, just as you feel moved, just come forward. I'm going to stand here only because I want to make sure that there's no technology problems. So don't read that in any way, and I'm going to lower the microphone just a little bit.
I've been at Friendship Village 7 years, and I know every one of these. Certainly some a lot better than some of the others. Whether I had a smile for them or they had a smile for me or we had a smile for each other. It was a privilege to have had them in my life for however long that was. I feel blessed.
I know that we're all going to miss so many of these people. They all were special, whether we knew them or not. Just greeting them in the hallways, and everyone had a smile. Our blessings to all. May you all have special memories of all the love that they brought to you and that you brought to them.
I didn't know them all, but I knew many, and all that I knew brought joy and happy memories to me, and I hope that their memories will always live in your hearts.
Well, I knew a couple of these gentlemen. Joe Ray, well, he signed a piece of paper that allowed me to get paid every week at Battelle, so I knew him quite well. He was my boss. Also, I knew Frank White. He was a proud Navy man, and he and I got harassed often because we were one a Navy and one an Air Force guy, but Frank was always there to give a helping hand to anybody who needed one.
Well, maybe not too brief. Sometimes when I have the service, I walk around with the microphone. And I know some people are uncomfortable coming up in front of crowds. So I'm just going to look around. Is there anyone that would like to just share a word? Yes. Right in.
I was a friend of Jean Neff. Her and her husband moved in here just a few months before I did, and I'll never forget what she did for me. I was from Illinois, and she was from here, and they took me shopping and introduced me to the community, and it was just wonderful, and she was a very, very special person in my life.
Thank you.
So my dad was my dad, and he wouldn't want me to talk about him, so I'm going to respect that. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank, on behalf of my family, all of the staff, everybody here at Friendship Village who took such fabulous care of him, cared about him, and continues to care about all of you. And I love how supportive all the residents are of each other and of my mom, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
My husband is Frank White, a good man, a good father, and a good person. I'll miss him forever.
I see pointing, but I don't see. Yes, here we go.
My wife and I moved here 3 years ago, and Frank White was one of the first people that befriended us. As June just said, he was a good man. I really admired him because he had a speech impediment for something, but that didn't bother him at all. He'd carry on a conversation with you just like he's normal. A very good man.
Thank you, Bob.
I've only been here about 2 years, a little bit over, but Peggy Christensen was such a dear friend. She took me right under her wing and included me in euchre group and also some other activities. I really miss her, and she was a wonderful lady.
I just recently shared this story with my grief support group, but I recently had a celebration of life for my husband, David Keller, and everybody told stories about him, and I feel like Dave lives on in those stories that those people told, and they won't forget him for a while.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
My mother was Margaret Brienza. Many of you know us from walking the halls with little Dottie, and the joy that she got from each of you coming to her and saying hello, primarily to talk to the dog, but we know that you talked to her also, and that enriched her life so much. With dementia, oftentimes you live in the moment, and the joy that people coming to talk to her made great joy. Also, the flowers of Friendship Village. When you can't verbalize a lot of things, being able to go around and look at the flowers and see them anew each and every time we would walk around was just absolutely fabulous. So we thank you for the friendships that you gave her over, I think, 7 years that she lived here, and the staff that just made her feel like family. And Dottie and I have been visiting around a little bit before this service, and the friendships that I made while being here too. So I really appreciate that too.
Anyone else would like to share a thought? A family member, maybe one of the associates? My friends, I hope you found today's service meaningful. Thank you to Betsy Gillespie, Carol Hofer, Jessica Rieker, Dick Olila, and the members of the Spiritual Care Committee who made today's service possible. I'd like to end today's service with the traditional Celtic blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you very much.